Welcome back to the 2 Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the Minnesota Vikings and Kirk Cousins and going over why this team is going to be a playoff team by the end of this year. But before we get on that topic, question for those of you viewing, I got to hear from you guys straight up. That's my answer. The Vikings are going to be in the playoffs. Do you agree with me? Yes or no? Minnesota's making it to the postseason or not? If not, if so, tell me why. I'm open-minded and willing to hear what you guys say. So comment down below. Getting straight into it. This man right here, Kirk Cousins, doesn't have to win it, but he needs to at least be mentioned at the bare minimum, not even as a top class MVP conversationalist, but a dark horse. Can this man right here get some more respect? Kirk Cousins. He is thrown for, give me 1 second, 800 plus yards. He's top 7, top 8 in passing yards so far. Not everything right there, but 8 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. The only man close to him in that category, Russell Wilson. And to me, that's a pretty good class to beat in. And if you're like, oh, well, who wins this one? Well, they just played, and the Vikings just won. Not saying Kirk Cousins better than Russell Wilson. I'm just saying Kirk Cousins is putting up numbers better than Russell Wilson. So why is he not at least in the dark horse MVP conversation? I know there's no real MVP talk as of right now. It's only week 3. There's probably not going to be a real one until week 5 at least. But if you're building a resume to be an MVP conversationalist, Kirk Cousins is doing it the right way. His passer rating is, I think, top 5 in the league as of right now. We could check. Give me 1 second. He is number 5. 118.3 passer rating. Give me 1 second to scroll down. You can see right there he's in a pretty good class. Trey Lance almost doesn't count because he has 1 catch or 1 pass. So really that doesn't count. Tyrod Taylor's only played, a game and a quarter? A game and 2 quarters, 6 total quarters, I believe. So that doesn't, to me, he's top 3 in passer rating, and he's in a good class with Matthew Stafford and Russell Wilson. Kirk Cousins is doing his job for this team, putting him 900 plus yards, 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, a great rating, great completion rate. I think he's, I want to say, top 3 in the league in completion percentage. He is doing everything you need to have a dark horse MVP quarterback in a playoff team, and this is all against, not all of it, but in this last game, it was against a team in which they didn't even have their best running back, Dalvin Cook. Obviously, Alexander Madison stepped up and looked like Dalvin Cook. He just took over as far as total yards and scrimmage yards goes, but still, Jay Jettis is doing his part, Adam Thielen is doing his part, and on defense, Danielle Hunter is back, Eric Hendricks is back. Secondary is doing what they can. They're getting the job done. They're winning football games as of at least right now. I think this Vikings team is going to be a playoff team. They're hot. In the first 3 games, they should have won. At least they should be at least 2-1, in my opinion. The Cardinals, that was the biggest fluke of all. A 37-yard kick. I don't know what franchise that has worse luck than the Minnesota Vikings. And then Dalvin Cook in overtime, and we know what happened with the Bengals. But they're 1-2 now, and they still got some hope. Now, this will be a big test. Honestly, if they lose this football game against the Browns, I will be concerned 1-3 about my playoff take. It's a little bold to say that when I think this game has a huge impact on it. But I believe in the Vikings. I think they got a great shot at this game. I do think it will be a big determinant. It is at home. They are the hotter team. The Browns don't have Jarvis Landry, so that's a plus. But the Vikings, this is a must-win game, I do believe it. But looking at that matchup, I think Kirk's better than Baker. Backfield, I'd give to Nick Chubb and the Browns, obviously, especially if Dalvin is out. Offensive line, I'd give it to the Browns. But receiving room, OBJ is back, but no Jarvis Landry. I might be leaning towards the Vikings with Jay Jettis and Adam Thielen. The defensive matchup will be having me curious. We'll have to see. This will be a tough game, but I just think after that, Detroit is beatable. Carolina, they're tough. They are playing better than I thought, but if McCaffrey's out still, J.C. Horn will be out. You might have a shot. Then you'll have a bye. Then you got Dallas and Baltimore and the Chargers. There's some tough games. The Packers are going to have to play twice, the Niners. But I believe in this team. I believe in Kirk Cousins. And if he keeps playing like this, it doesn't matter who they are taking on. If he can still put up 900 plus yards, 8 touchdowns, 0 picks, and be as efficient as you need, I'm tired of the Kirk Cousins slanders. He's had 17 straight games, 17 of a passer rating of 90 plus. The only guy to ever beat that was Peyton Manning in 2012 to 2013. I think the record's 23. Not Joe Montana, not Jerry Rice, not Joe Montana, not Tom Brady, not Aaron Rodgers, not Drew Brees. The only other person ever is Peyton Manning, and everyone else below that, for that longest streak, is below Kirk Cousins. It goes Peyton Manning, then Kirk, and then it's Manning again, and then it's Montana, and the list goes on. But Kirk is balling out in his past 17 games, and no one is talking about it. He deserves more respect right here, and I think he's going to be the reason this team goes to the postseason. The schedule's tough, and they had a very, very bumpy start, and the NFC is as tight as can be. I mean, I think everyone would agree, at least contention-wise, they'll be in the conversation of the 4 NFC West teams, at least, contention-wise, and will be in the conversation of playoff teams. The Seahawks, Rams, Niners, and Cardinals. That's 4 possible teams in the playoffs right away. The Bucks, that's 5. Packers, that's 6. And the 7th one's the NFC East. Someone has to make it out of there. Dallas, Washington, Eagles, whoever. That's 7 teams. And then in the hunt, then in the other conversations, at plus 07, you got Carolina, you got the Vikings. Those are 9 teams to me that are going to be fighting for the playoffs, but I think the Vikings can win this one. I think they can make it into the top 7. I think they could possibly give Aaron Rodgers a run. Do I think they'll win the division? I don't know. That's a whole different video I could talk about. If you guys want me to, let me know. But as far as just making an appearance in the postseason, whether it's winning the division or being the wild card, the Vikings are going to do it. They have Kirk Cousins, who is playing a lot better than anyone's giving him credit for. A lot of people think Derek Carr is balling out, and he is, but Kirk Cousins is doing his job just as well. Just because Derek Carr has 200 more yards than Kirk Cousins doesn't mean he's not playing as good as Kirk Cousins. So, personally, I just think the Vikings will have a really good chance making the playoffs. I think if they could keep things hot, Mike Zimmer could keep his job. I was concerned about him and this Vikings defense for a little bit, but with Danielle Hunter coming back, Eric Hendricks, I think, is top 2 in tackles. Anthony Barr, hopefully could pair up with Eric Hendricks well, and then Michael Pierce, having Sheldon Richardson back, having Everson Griffin back, having Dalvin Tomlinson, Pat Pete. This team's ready. This team, I think, will head to the postseason. Schedule's tough, and they're not going to be a 13-4 team, I don't think. But can they be 12-5, 11-6, 10-7, and still squeeze a wild card spot? I think 11-6, 10-7 is going to be looking at them. I think that could be good enough for the playoffs, especially when you got a good head-to-head win over the Seattle Seahawks, a very well-known and I don't want to say dominant team, but a big-name team to accomplish a win over. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see how it keeps going. That Cleveland Browns game is going to determine a lot for me personally, but I think they can win that one, and I think all of a sudden they could be 500 next week, and Kirk Cousins can continue to stay hot. Obviously, a lot is dependent on him. If he becomes, I don't want to say old Kirk Cousins, because he was never a turnover machine, but old Kirk Cousins where he can't win a game in prime time or a serious game or lead the team in drive or whatever it is. If he becomes that stereotype again, then things will be concerning. But if he's on this hot streak, if he's on this MVP type run still, I got faith in him and the Vikings to make a postseason run. But you guys tell me what you think. As always, and of course, guys, thanks for watching. Comment down below your thoughts, and I'll respond back to them 2-1.